With 5 days left before the Eagles opener against the New England Patriots, are they finally going to sign that punter everybody wanted them to sign? Well, they finally went ahead and worked him out. Also, the Eagles bring back some familiar faces, and the New England Patriots, they're really banged up. No JuJu Smith-Schuster, and they might be missing part of their offensive line. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Tuesday. It's unbelievable the Eagles still do not have a punter, yet they finally worked out the one we all have been wanting them to go ahead and sign, and that is Braden Mann. Here are the details coming in from Bleeding Green Nation. Philadelphia worked out 2 free agents on Monday, one of which was Braden Mann. The other was linebacker Branden Smith. More on him in a second, but they finally bring in the punter that everyone keeps clamoring for because he obviously has the veteran experience, but Philadelphia tried to go ahead and sign him when he was waived by New York back in April. He was then awarded the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had a higher priority in terms of the waiver claim, and then the Steelers kept Mann as one of their 2 punters on the original 53-man roster before cutting him 1 day later. And so Philadelphia has their second chance at a punter that they tried to go ahead and get all the way back in April. And while Aaron Siposs remains currently on the Eagles practice squad, it could be a scenario if they go ahead and sign Mann, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, they could elevate him to the active roster, get rid of Siposs off the practice squad, or keep both in case you want to have an ongoing punter battle, I guess, during the actual NFL season. It's unbelievable Philadelphia continues to not have a punter when we're 5 days away. Now, it's not the most important, overall position in the National Football League. Like when you guys are going ahead and, commenting, saying this, you got to get this thing done. And while I agree, I still think it is a little bit bizarre that Philadelphia is not going ahead and signed a punter. Now, in terms of Mann, he was the 4th best punter graded by Pro Football Focus back in 2022, averaged 21st in net yards per punt and with 41 yards per punt, and 12th in average hang time with 4.35 seconds. And while Siposs, he graded 32nd out of 34 punters last year. An upgrade up to, the 21st average net per punt would be at least an upgrade for Philadelphia in that category. And so really good news for Philadelphia if they sign him. They still have not signed him as of right now, but of course, if you're watching this later on today, maybe it's officially done. Thumbs up for the idea of bringing in a brand new punter. Now, quickly on Branden Smith, the other person that they worked out today, again, they have not signed him as of filming the show here on a Tuesday morning. He was a Penn State alumni who prior to visited with the Eagles during the 2022 NFL Draft, selected 4th over in the 4th round by the Carolina Panthers, but got waived under the new coaching regime this summer. With Philadelphia only having a couple of active linebackers in the 53-man roster, maybe they want to bring in a guy like Smith to go ahead and compete for a practice squad spot who might eventually get updated with Nicholas Morrow, who are some of the other guys sitting there at linebacker. Now, in order to make room in the practice squad for a signing they did yesterday in Tyre Phillips, they went ahead and released Kyron Johnson, which again kind of shows you that they are fluidly trying to make sure they have the right 16 players on this practice squad, and they might have to get rid of some people in order to bring some other people in. They also signed Nicholas Morrow and released Tywan McMullen, and then, like we said, Kyron Johnson as well. So they add 2 players in Nicholas Morrow and Phillips. They released McMullen and Kyron Johnson, but more moves could be on the horizon if they want to go ahead and get this linebacker or if they want to finally sign a punter. Now, perhaps the most interesting situation that's not even happening inside the Eagles organization is the Patriots injury report. We got some big updates yesterday from 2 star players on New England's overall roster who might not be able to play. In fact, they probably won't play on Sunday at Gillette Stadium when Philadelphia comes to town. First of which is JuJu Smith-Schuster. According to multiple reports from Albert Breer, his knee is a mess, and that thing could explode at any point. Breer said the team may have to keep an extra receiver because of that. JuJu Smith-Schuster responded saying, "I don't think my knee is a ticking time bomb. If anything, it's something that's getting stronger every single day," end quote. And this great matchup between James Bradberry and JuJu Smith-Schuster might be a little bit one-sided if A, JuJu can't play, or B, his knee truly is, as Albert Breer reported, a serious issue and could be ready to explode at any point. Now, we don't hope this happens, as much as you might hate JuJu Smith-Schuster from what he did not only during the Super Bowl, but last offseason as well. We wish every player the best. But if this is a situation in New England, they're very weak at wide receiver. Let's say JuJu plays a little bit, or he doesn't play at all, or even plays at 75-85%. Look at the rest of the wide receivers on the Patriot roster right now. You have Devontae Parker, who's a little bit, would say older, not necessarily a true wide receiver 1. Kendrick Bourne, Matthew Slater, Kayshon Boutte, Tyquan Thornton, former Baylor alum, although he's on IR right now. It's not necessarily a great wide receiver depth chart, and Philadelphia might be able to take advantage of that with their very strong secondary and absolutely unbelievable pass rush. Perhaps even worse than the JuJu Smith-Schuster injury is the massive news of the day, and that is that Patriots right tackle Riley Reiff has been placed on IR and will be obviously ineligible to play on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. ESPN has a story here. This is very interesting. Reiff, who had his right leg rolled up in the team's final preseason game on August 25th, was a top candidate to be the team's #1 right tackle. Being placed on injured reserve means Reiff will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. Now, it's not just Reiff in terms of the situation, it's the entire offensive line for the New England Patriots. It's not been that healthy. Listen to this, quote, starting quarterback Mac Jones took some big hits in the team's second preseason game by a patchwork line that has been buying time until starting guards Cole Strange and Mike Onwenu, offseason ankle surgery, who have missed the majority of training camp, return to full health. Now, in terms of replacements, they say the 5-year veteran tackle Calvin Anderson is the top replacement at the right tackle spot, but they also have some backups as well, basically all showcasing that they're not going to have a fully complete offensive line, whether it's just the right tackle who was out and then some banged up guards, or maybe the right tackle and some replacement guards as well. New England's going to have a problem and hopefully have their hands full with an Eagle defensive line that should be not only as good, if not better than it was last year, but maybe one of the best defensive lines in the entire National Football League. This could be the big key going into this game, and it's not just pass protection, right? Pass protection is one thing, trying to stop Hassan Reddick and Jalen Carter. Hopefully Nolan Smith, we'll learn more about his fate maybe a little bit later today. Josh Sweat, the rest of the whole gang, but also running the football. Remember, New England has a history, especially with Mac Jones, of being kind of a run-first offense. They want to establish the run by Ramondre Stevenson, newly signed Zeke Elliott, and try and pound the football, open up the play-action game with Mac Jones, and hit some of these receivers, or more importantly, their tight ends, down the football field. If they can't pass protect, but they also can't block the run or create some big holes against this Eagle front seven, it could be a very, very long day for the New England Patriots. So bad news out of New England, but I guess you can make the case it's very good news for Philadelphia. Now, we'll have more news on Nick Sirianni's press conference happening later this afternoon, probably on tomorrow's show, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe for that. I expect him to hopefully announce maybe a punter sometime today. We'll have that update, obviously, on Twitter and here on the YouTube channel, but also maybe an update on the injury situation with Nolan Smith that we talked about was at least looking better during yesterday's show. Now, before you go ahead and end today's show, I do want to just quickly mention something that is near and dear to my heart, and I think should be near and dear to a lot of Eagle Nation's hearts as well. Former Eagle pass rusher, an Eagles legend, and Hugh Douglas, someone I've worked with personally at 92.9 The Game during my time at Atlanta Radio. He's now at 94.1 WIP, and his son tragically passed away in a car accident yesterday. And so, Eagle Nation, I'm kind of hoping that we could all rally around and send thoughts and prayers his way and send those good vibes. And while it's obviously a terrible situation and something that we ourselves personally can really not understand and can't really do much to help, I still think as a man of faith, and I think for you guys, obviously, as Eagle fans in general, replying to him on Twitter, sending your thoughts and prayers, and overall keeping him in your thoughts today would be very, very good for Eagles Nation. An unbelievable, terrible tragedy, and I hope we'll rally around Hugh Douglas, who is forever a member of Eagles Nation. Plenty more stuff happening over the next couple of days and weeks here. We're 5 days away, getting closer and closer. Also, I do want to mention, we're having a couple of surprise guests during our Wednesday Link Live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Some Eagle content creators you guys love watching alongside myself and Josh Davis. We're going to all get together, not only talk about what's happening this week in Philadelphia, but get ready for the New England game. You guys appreciate that. You guys enjoy it. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on your notifications, because 7 p.m. Eastern time, you'll get a notification on your little YouTube app saying we're live. Come hang out, ask questions, hang around. It's going to be a bunch of fun. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off on a Tuesday. Again, plenty more updates happening next couple of days and weeks. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.